What's good, Commanders fans, and happy trade deadline day. We just got some news per JJones or JJones 9, lead NFL insider on 4 NFL on CBS. He just put this out. He said the Commanders have emerged as a real contender for cornerback Marshon Lattimore. Man, this is good news, man. Now, not gonna get my hopes up, but let's see what Adam Peters cooks up here. Let's see what Adam Peters cooks up here. He says the Commanders have emerged as a real contender for Saints cornerback Marshon Lattimore. Sources tell NFL on CBS. The Chiefs have had interest in the former Pro Bowl corner as well. Still 4 hours to go before the deadline, so the clock is ticking. Right now, I'm making this video about 12:20, so we'll see. Also, the draft compensation that they may be looking for is a third-round pick, and we have 2 third-round picks, guys. We have 2 third-round picks. This is per Nick Underhill. He says the belief is that the asking price for cornerback Marshon Lattimore is a high third-round pick. Now, Nick Underhill, you got to cite your sources. He works for N of Network. He has about 99,000 followers on Twitter, so he's a part of he has some inside sources with the Saints and whatnot. So like I said, there's so many reports coming out. You gotta talk about where you get the source from and who reported this news and who reported that, especially there's so many rumors and just news coming out. Also, Josina Anderson has said that the Saints are warming up to moving Marshon Lattimore. So to me, I mean, go get him. Go get him. Players are saying that they want to come to the Commanders. Is Marshon Lattimore one of those guys? I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't be. I don't see why he wouldn't be. The biggest need that we have right now clearly is cornerback. And we play the Eagles twice. We possibly are going to have to play the Lions in the playoffs or whoever, the Packers. We need a corner. That is the biggest void on this team. You know, Ben St-Juste is our number 1 corner at this point. And that says a lot. And I hate going in on Ben St-Juste. I think he tries. I think he has good effort, but he's just playing beyond what his talent and what his skill set is. He should not be lining up against a number 1 wide receiver week in and week out. That's just not him. He's better suited as a cornerback too. And if we had Marshon Lattimore with Dante Fowler playing the way he's playing as a Pro Bowler, Johnny Newton playing the way he's playing, Daron Payne, Frankie Louis, Bobby Wagner, Quan Martin, and Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin, the way he played on Sunday, we just add a corner that can match up and take away and limit the wide receiver number 1 like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. Look at what Marshon Lattimore has done in his career against Mike Evans. He has literally put a seatbelt on Mike Evans. Ever since Marshon Lattimore has come into the league, Mike Evans in 11 games only has 273 yards, 16 catches on 29 targets, 5 pass breakups and 1 interception that Marshon Lattimore has had against Mike Evans. And Mike Evans has been suspended twice going up against Marshon Lattimore. You saw what Mike Evans did to us. He had 2 touchdowns easily. 2 tough touchdowns on Ben St-Juste, and that's not going to happen against Marshon Lattimore. That's just not happening. Now, A.J. Brown's a dog, but at least we have a guy that can match up and give him some go. Same thing with Devontae Smith, and bring some physicality at the cornerback position. The foot speed, the physicality, the confidence, the trash talking. A guy that can shut down one side of the field. Marshon Lattimore can certainly do that and help out our pass defense for sure. So that third-round pick, we have 2 thirds, guys. We got the third from the Eagles for Jahan Dotson. Now, imagine if the pick that we got in return for Jahan Dotson, Adam Peters worked that up and was able to move that for a legitimate number 1 cornerback in this league. I mean, just imagine the GM work of that, just getting a third-round pick for Jahan Dotson, trading it to a division rival, and then turning that into Marshon Lattimore. I mean, that's just GMing of the year for sure. That's legitimate GMing from a rookie GM, from a first-year GM. I mean, we know what he's done with the 49ers before, but I mean, that would just be incredible to get that done. So I just want to look up some numbers. I don't want to, like I said, I didn't want to put down Ben St-Juste, but man, we could use this, guys. Marshon Lattimore in DC, taking that side of the field away against A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, guys like that. But look at Marshon Lattimore, 4-time Pro Bowler, man. 4-time Pro Bowler. The only concern is just health. He was the Defensive Player of the Week in 2021. 5 interceptions in 2017. And they just stopped throwing his way after that, honestly. After he got that 5 interception in his rookie season, he had 2 picks in 2018. He had 1 pick in 2019, 2 picks in 2020, 3 picks in 2021. The only concern about him is the injuries. He played in 7 games in 2022, 10 games in 2023, 7 games in 2024. And we know the Saints are a dumpster fire. They're basically selling now. They just fired their head coach. Chris Olave, he's going to be out for the foreseeable future. So they're in sell mode. They're way over the salary cap. I do see one tweet from Ben Stanek, it also said that the concern is the money. But it's kind of like, who cares? We're going to have so much salary cap after this season. I mean, it's like you got to pay people, especially you got to take advantage while Jaden Daniels is on a rookie contract. This is what Ben Stanek tweeted out. He said, for what it's worth on Marshon Lattimore, Chiefs are the team I've heard mentioned the most. No question he's very good, taking on his salary is $18 million plus in 2025 and 2026, and giving up picks. I think it's only going to be one pick, not picks, but just one pick. And giving up picks for a player who has missed 19 games over the last 2+ years is the rub for some teams. I think you just got to take that risk, guys. I think we have the draft capital because we have four picks in the top 100. If we trade that pick, we'll have only 3 in the top 1, which is normal to have anyway. But there's other ways that you can get another pick. Jonathan Allen, we'll see if we keep him next year. There's another way you can recoup another pick if we end up trading the 3rd round pick for Marshon Lattimore. So that's just looking into the future. But I think this is worth the investment, guys, to pay him $18 million a year and to trade a 3rd round pick is definitely working. Let's look at some of the advanced numbers for Marshon Lattimore over the years. So passer rating, he's only given up a 69.1 so far this year. You look at Ben St-Juste, and he's given up about a 109.5 quarterback rating. So imagine a 69.4 quarterback rating allowed for Marshon Lattimore, and then 109.5 given up by Ben St-Juste. Marshon Lattimore has only given up 114 yards this year, and then Ben St-Juste has given up 495 yards so far this season. So you guys do the math there and just imagine that in DC. Marshon Lattimore has given up a 54.5 completion percentage allowed, and then Ben St-Juste, you look at his completion percentage allowed is 65% allowed, which is not terrible, but compared to Marshon Lattimore is still pretty darn bad. It's still pretty darn bad. And the fact that Marshon Lattimore has only given 114 yards is just insane. It's insane. Look, what the Saints got blown out by the Broncos, but Cortland Sutton did nothing, and Marshon Lattimore was guarding him. Mike Evans did nothing against the Saints. So that's a guy that we definitely need. Marshon Lattimore as well. It's the consistency. In 10 games last year, he gave a 57.4 completion percentage, and then only a 74.7 quarterback rating allowed, 67.3 quarterback rating allowed in 2022. And he tackles. Missed tackle percentage is 0 this year. Missed tackle percentage is 0 in 2022, 9.4 in 2023. So not only does he cover well, but he tackles, man. He's super physical as well. He's got that dog in him. 1st round pick, 11th pick of the draft in the 2017 draft, and he's still only 28 years old, 6 feet, 192 pounds. So he still has that out of Ohio State, we bring in another Buckeye here as well. So that would be great. But yeah, he tackles, and he's very physical. He's physical in the run game, physical tackling as well. So I think he really would fit the culture. He's a guy that I feel like would fit the culture for sure. So like I said, 4-time Pro Bowler. I'm trying to see if there's any other numbers. He's only allowed 8 catches on the year so far, which is just insane. Only 8 catches. How many has Ben St-Juste allowed this year? He's allowed 38 catches compared to Marshon Lattimore's 8 on the season, which is just insane numbers. Insane numbers. So Adam, go get him. Please don't let the Chiefs go get him. I mean, Marshon Lattimore, he's given up 12, and then Ben St-Juste has given up 38 catches on the season. So 12 versus 38. That's cornerback 1 versus cornerback 1 for us. And then Ben St-Juste can go right into his cornerback 2 spot, man. And that would be perfect for him. And then Mikey in the slot, and then Noah I would be that rotational corner. And then you probably trade a Mayo Forbes for like a 6 or a 7. Or if they want to keep a Mayo Forbes for depth, excuse me, I don't mind that either. It is what it is on that. But it looks like they'd rather just trade him and move on from him. But Marshon Lattimore, man, that would just be a heck of a pickup for us. And man, and please don't let the Chiefs do it, because the Chiefs have 2 third-round picks too, and the Chiefs are being aggressive. They're being aggressive. They got DeAndre Hopkins. You look at what D-Hop did last night. So don't let that happen again. I wasn't gung-ho for trading for D-Hop, but you see, if D-Hop's playing the way that he's playing, then I think, maybe they should have been a little bit more aggressive for D-Hop. But let's just focus on Marshon Lattimore. The Cowboys, they traded a 4th-round pick for Jonathan Mingo, so that's terrible on their part. But, man, I think he would definitely elevate the defense. He would elevate the defense. He would fit that Joe Witt Jr. ball his life, take the ball away, physicality, long arms. What Dan Quinn's looking for, man, I think he's a guy that could just shut down and take away one side of the field. And that's what we need on this defense for sure. All rookie team, NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2017, 4-time Pro Bowler, 1st team All Big Ten coming out of college, 4.3 40-yard dash, that speed that we need, and a 38 vertical leap as well. So, like I said, I'm not going to get my hopes up, though, guys. That's the only thing. I'm not going to get my hopes up. That's one thing I'm not going to do is get my hopes up for sure because we've done this before. But let's just see what happens in the next literally 3 hours, guys. Let's see what happens. All right, you guys. Health Commanders, peace.